Hey, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Seth Miranda, and I'm a pro photographer right here in New York City. You may have seen me on some other channels like Adorama TV, but I also have a Twitch channel where I invite some colleagues and peers and other photographers and just people I think have valuable information and just have a good time live on my Twitch channel. So if you want to join the chat and ask us questions right there on the spot and be part of the conversation, join us at twitch.tv/lastxwitness. But for now, just enjoy this chat. I'll see you later. You got it working. It's just EQ'd all screwed up. Oh, we're live, gentlemen.
Yeah,
gentlemen, we're live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. What's going on, everyone? So you know who I am. It's my channel. You're in my chat. But I had to bring on, first of all, returning champion Sesay over here. But the guy with the hat on who is also bald is somebody you guys should all know and doesn't get enough credibility out there when he has tons of credibility in our world. This guy is a legacy. When you say Cliff, everyone already knows what Cliff in the world you're talking about if it's within 20 feet of a camera or a light. This guy has lit the entire Senate or House of Representatives with 60 strobes at once, endless stories, built some of the craziest rigs I've ever seen in my life, classes like you've never had in your life. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Cliff Hausner.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, man. I feel like there's a lot of people that don't get credibility in this game because we get in front of the influencers, we get the people with the followings, but where's the support people? Where's the real grips? Where's the real techs? Where's the real photographers? I mean, your dad was like a legendary photojournalist that could spot with his eyes what he should set his cameras to without even looking at a meter. So you come from a legacy of this shit. And
yeah,
Ab already go for it.
No, he worked in the industry for as a photojournalist for 50 years for the New York Times. It's a long time. 50 years for the same publication. That's pretty amazing.
Eddie Hausner. Eddie Hausner.
Eddie Hausner. You should look up. You guys check him out. Look up his work. Just Google his name, Eddie Hausner. I think you'll be impressed by his work.
So I want Ab already flexed his muscles hard last time I had him on here, showing how to recreate some fake sunset with like 60,000 gels. But Cliff did some crazy work. He shot the, what were you shooting, the Giants or the Jets?
I did the Giants team photo. Ab helped me on a couple of times on that. Yep.
Which is insane when you realize how many people are in one photo and how you have to light it. But let's talk about how you had to shoot. What was it, the Senate or the House of Representatives? You had to light with 60 strobes. House of Representatives. So, when I was riding in a car with Cliff, and he goes, "Only 3 guys could have done it. Two guys," and I was one. That's what he said.
Well, I did teach some other people how to do it, but and they're doing it. So I photographed the House of Representatives in D.C. I didn't actually take the picture. I have to be clear. I just did the lighting for it. So I had 40. It was like 48 packs. No, I'm sorry. It was 28 packs and somewhere around 48 heads. And I had an assistant. And one time I did it, I only had one assistant, and that was Ab. We had a lot of laughs, a lot of good times. But in order to photograph it, you have to light from one corner of the room to the other corner of the room. And my goal was to make it less than a quarter stop difference between the front of the room and the back of the room. So it was a challenge. It was a real challenge. The first time I did it, I just did it so that I could see if I could do it. And to challenge myself to try to do something that was pretty difficult. And I went down with one assistant. The next time I realized I needed more assistance. And then every time after that I did it, which was about 4 or 5 times, I try to get them to let me bring more assistants because I was using the House of Representatives photographers as my assistants. And that wasn't working out so great. So I brought some people, and I brought Ab with me one of the times, like I said, and we not only have a good time doing it, but you learn a lot every time I go out and do it. So every time I got there, I just changed it a little bit and made it a little bit better. I really wanted to spend more time on it. I wanted to shoot from the one corner of the room. Like I said, it's about 60 something yards, almost 70 yards from one corner of the room to the other. And to do the shot, to light the thing is just, it took us about a full day to light it. The only one of the times was I ever there during the shoot, but the rest of the times I was just doing the lighting for it, which was completely completely insane. It was fun just being on the House of Representatives, the floor of the House of Representatives, but it was also fun setting up and doing the lighting for it. So
how do you walk into that? What do you look at that? How do you your connection's fucked up.
Well, that's an interesting. Mine is. Oh, no. Can you hear me, Beck? No.
You're coming in and out.
Can you hear me?
Tell your family to get off the Wi-Fi for a little bit.
No.
Oh, we're gonna lose Cliff, I think.
I pretty much got. I have my dog here. I don't think. Yeah.
Oh no.
I can move.
Yeah, I just think that the audio's cutting in and off.
How about now? Let's try it now. See if it sounds better. Any better? Still, you losing me?
It's choppy. It's really, really choppy. And I think you don't hear us when we're starting to talk, and that's what the issue is. But let's not get caught up on that. Ab, what was it like assisting this insane man over here?
I mean, the first thing about the shoot that was crazy is the amount of power. And so we needed a guy from the House of Representatives to come and run power into the House so that we had enough power. And one of the crazy places they pulled it from is underneath the House of Representatives. They actually used to truck in ice to cool it down.
Dude, you're not supposed to tell people this shit.
Oh.
What? You're not supposed to tell people this story. It's okay. Go ahead. I don't care. It came from you.
I do have some pictures that we can't show, but ultimately, Cliff was going underneath the house to help this guy run probably around 500 amps.
Jesus.
Into the house. So they had these huge orange cables coming in, and yeah, it was pretty insane. The worst part is getting all the equipment checked through security. Yeah, they brought in power from every which way that they could. And it's not that easy in a building that's older like that.
Cliff frozen the weirdest picture ever.
I'm back. I don't know. Can you guys hear me?
Can you see how weird that frozen image is? Yeah, I can hear you.
How do I look? Good?
Yeah, it's just nuts.
It was a crazy shoot. There was a mix but the cool thing, the way Cliff lit it though, he lit it all with hard light sources. And so it was literally throwing light over the heads of certain people so that it hit others. And then you have the people who are right down below you. So basically you're creating this completely even light from an area that's probably 20 feet away from the camera to another area that's 50 yards away. And you have to make sure that there's no lights that are actually in the picture because they're shooting this with probably a 14 millimeter Cliff or something crazy wide.
Yes, yeah, 14 millimeter lens, yeah.
Yeah,
Nikon camera, 14 millimeter lens.
Mm-hmm. That's what's crazy.
Most of the reflectors we were using were like zoom reflectors or magnum reflectors or just to throw the light great distances. And like Ab said, we were throwing them over the top of some people's head. So to get it all balanced out and then to realize at the end of it, we're literally going crazy trying to get it even from one side of the room to the other. And then you realize that there's a piece that you can't light. So you have to figure out how to do it and also to make it so that there's very, very or little or no retouching done in the image. So that was a challenge. That was the real challenge, is to not have any of the lights in the picture so that we don't have to retouch out lights.
And the other thing is that when he says reflectors, he's talking about this, not like they're reflecting light around, but the reflectors that go on a light to actually guide how far, how magnified, and how hard that light is going to be. That's the type of reflector they're talking about.
Yep. There's a section of the House of Representatives where guests can come in or people can come in and watch the people on the floor of the House, watch the congressmen give talks all day, so they can be up in that other area, and that's where we put the light. So it was basically in that area around the outside. So at some point, what we should do is, I don't have it here available, but next time maybe what we'll do is we'll actually show the picture and we can describe basically how it was done and where the lights were sitting.
Yeah, we'll do that. And this won't be the only time you guys are on here. And Ab's already been on here a few times. But every time you hang out with Cliff, it's another like, you remember this time? You remember that time we did this? Because that's how many years this guy's been in the game. And these two together have been around the biggest names in the industry. Like, you wouldn't ever believe it. It's insane. You guys, look at how tough Cliff looks.
Do I look tough? I'm trying to bulk up here. I'm trying to look big.
He's like a pro wrestler of the industry.
Yeah. No, my
Body Ventura.
My thing is, I've always tried to work with. I work with a lot of young photographers over the years. I try to help people come up. So when a lot of the photographers that you know today, some whose names I can and can't, and some I can't mention, but those are the people that I would just get inspired by and try to help them from, even assisting. I used to have a group in New York called stopassisting.com. And what we did is we took 100, we started out with, it was probably about 400 or 500 photographers. And we narrowed it down to 25 photographers who were really photo assistants at the time. And we try to help them get out of assisting and help them become photographers. And that lasted for a couple of years. But unfortunately, it ended up falling apart. But it was a great program. We loaned them equipment. We loaned them gear. We helped them out on their shoots. So we just try to get these guys who we knew were great photographers, but were also just stuck in assisting to try to help them get out of it. And I think the website's still up there somewhere, but it was called Stop Assisting. And we ended up with at least 5 or 6 of the photographers that I know that are still really shooting today and really, really doing well, who we helped get out of the assisting game.
Anytime me and Dan have to do something like a giant workshop or some crazy project, one of the first 3 calls goes to Cliff Hausner, and he's like an arms dealer. And when we were going to do Comic-Con, we called Cliff.
About the drugs, only the arms, no drugs.
I know, but he comes in with these giant cases, like a military case full of like all these crazy lights. He had to get through metal detectors and security at Comic-Con, surrounded by giant costumes and prop swords and stuff. And every 3 steps he took, he said the same phrase. And you don't do any drugs. And you don't do any drugs. And you don't do any drugs. I kept saying to all these people, I'm like, let's go. We got to get on stage, man.
Oh, my God, man. That was so much fun, though. That was so much fun.
That was ridiculous. And then the tether went down, and we got screwed out of that, and all that other shit went down.
But it worked. It ended up okay, as most of the things do. Somehow we end up throwing all that shit together and get it done, We do. We had some fun.
You guys were on the same team for a while. You guys were in the same company working together side by side for how many years?
Probably 20? Started 2001. 2001 wow. To when did Pro Photo leave Mac Group? It was
2014?
2000. When did the B1s come out?
2016. I don't know. We were together a long time. That's a long time. Whatever it was.
So I knew each other when I was in college.
Yeah. I came to do a presentation at Ab's school. And I think he was making fun of me. You were making fun of me, right?
No. So this is my first Cliff Hausner story. There was a guy who sold me my first light meter.
Oh.
And he ripped me off because he didn't tell me there was a student program. And so then Cliff, he was like, does anyone here own a Sekonic meter? I was like, I do. And then Cliff said, great. And you got it in our student program? I'm like, no. And then he gave me this face like, oh, shit. Because he realized I got ripped off. And so he's like, no worries, no matter what, I'm going to take care of you. And so he jumped through like a million hoops, wasn't able to get me a discount, but gave me about $500 worth of Polaroid and film.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Which as a student was a huge help back then.
And my meeting with Ab, I think my first meeting with Ab was when I was at that college. And then people at Mac Group were asking me, did you meet this guy? What do you think of him? And I said, I think he's great. I think you should hire him. Like he was looking for a job. That's a lie? No, it wasn't a lie. I make that shit up. If I make shit up, just tell me, Ab. I don't know.
No, you're not making it up. You're not making it up. You're not making it up.
No. Come on, seriously. That's not a lie. Ray asked me what I thought of you.
There's someone.
All right, fuck you.
The window behind you. Is that your cat? There's someone in the window behind you.
That's a, what? I don't know what that is. That's a balloon, my friend. That's a balloon. That's a balloon that I'm blocking now?
No, I want to tell people that you're lying, but.
No. Okay.
You know what?
You want them to turn around, but I refused. I know.
There's Cliff stories that nobody will believe when you say it to them. And there's just these things. He's like this ever-going like story that if you've ever been around Cliff, you believe it when someone tells you whatever the hell happened. I mean, stories of you out cold in the airport, stories of you telling people to like smuggle back like rum or something in their luggage. You're like, I need this many bottles to make it through TSA, and you would
is anybody online here? Is anybody here from Sweden? Because if anybody here from Sweden, there's a vodka over there that I really like. It's called Seriously Vodka.
Swedish people in my chat.
Some pictures
you do not. You do not. Do you have people from Sweden?
Hey, somebody in the chat, do me a favor and someone get Christian in the chat room because I know he's over there in Sweden right now. So go to the Discord and just message him and get him in here, please.
Tell Christian I need a direct import of vodka. Okay, it's called Seriously Vodka. That's what I'll give you my address. You can send it to my home. Yes, we smuggled it through. We smuggled it through customs there. We got a lot of bottles back through handing to a bunch of different people.
Trying to find you some pictures, Seth.
No, man.
There's a time where Cliff accidentally drank gasoline.
Oh my God!
It wasn't exactly accidental. It wasn't accidental. It was at this workshop, and I walked on fire too. But it was great, man. Show him the picture up because I'm
trying to see if I could find it.
You accidentally drank gasoline.
Not exactly. I was kind of. I'm pretending I didn't accidentally do it, but I did accidentally do it. I was trying to prove how I might have been overserved, just a little bit.
Oh man, I was. I wish I had it ready. But the story was I don't know how we ended up on some side road somewhere upstate New York, and there was this old gas station. And Cliff was like, "Oh man, I always loved a gas station like this. I wish I could buy a gas station like this. It's beautiful." And so he joking around. Maybe there's a little bit of alcohol served. He put the gas pump up to his mouth to take like a funny picture, and then next thing you know, gas started coming out.
But that and alcohol mixed really well. I'm just saying, it's amazing.
The problem was somehow it didn't really affect them, and that's what really scared us. Is most people that would have put them in the hospital, he spit it out. I think he rinsed his mouth out with like a beer and a vodka, and we just kept going for the rest of it.
He's like a pirate. The chat actually wants to know, what was your first light meter? What light meter are you talking about?
Me or Ab?
Probably Ab, because Ab bought the one that got that wasn't on discount.
Oh, my first one. Do I have it
here? 508. A 508, right?
No, it was
358.
It's an analog. There's an analog joint, right?
608. This is my first. Wow.
608.
It's like 20 years old.
It was a 508, but it wasn't that one. But okay.
And it still works.
It was a 508.
How old it is? It's serial number 208.
So then that wasn't your first meter. Your first meter was a 508, not a 608.
No, it was 608.
Listen, trust me, it was a 508.
It wasn't.
Listen, folks. Hey, Ab, there's somebody behind you over there.
I can see them on the camera.
Oh my God.
Come on. Seth, you see what I have to deal with?
I know I have to deal with this fucking guy. Are you kidding me? I had the same fucking thing. But I'll tell you this: no one's bent over backwards for me more blindly than Cliff Hausner to get me something I needed to get through a shoot, get through a demo. He's seen me throw myself to the wolves in front of live crowds with prototype stuff to try to make things happen, and he never is farther than arm's length away to make sure you can get through whatever you're getting through. This guy is like the #1 support system for any pro out there that's putting themselves in front of an audience, hands fucking down. So
but you know why I do it though, Seth? You know why I do it? All kidding aside, besides the fact that I love you guys and it's fun, is that I've been in your position. I've been there when things aren't going right, and I know how bad it feels when you're up there and nobody's around to help you, and you're looking for help and you're looking for an assistant. That's why now only assistants I hire are people that I know really well, that are my friends, that I've known for a while. And those are the people I bring in. Back in the day, actually, Ab used to assist for me, but then he stopped because he just, he had enough. But no, he did. You had enough, man. I understand. I used to punch him a lot. I don't know why I used to hit Ab in the arm a lot, but he get upset about it. And then, so he stopped assisting me except for certain shoots that I do, like the New York Giants team photo or something. He'll come and help me out with, just because that's an incredibly fun day. And maybe, and the House of Representatives in DC, he'd come help me out with on big shoots, really, really big shoots where I need somebody that I can trust. I always call my buddies. And so I want to be his buddy. I want to be Seth's buddy, so that when he needs help and he's on stage and he's going to do something, he can't get it done, that I'm there to try to help him out.
I don't even remember the first time I met you, to be honest. I can't remember it for the life of me. I feel like you've always been around. It's so weird. But I remember doing, going to like all those meetups and all this other stuff before I started teaching the stuff. And you were just always around, like everything that was happening. So I remember when the B1 came out and Norton wouldn't shut up about it. He's like, this is going to change everything. This is this is that. And then I was like, oh, it's cool. You get to do like a new release of a light. Then the A1 was coming out and I was like, I'm doing this. I got the A1 and they didn't let me near it. They gave us the prototype and it was 3D printed accessories. They used my roof for the video, but I wasn't the guy doing the shoot.
That was true. But then you ended up doing a lot of stuff with it.
Yeah, but, no, I mean, the reason I even have a full out A1 kit is because Cliff made sure that I was able to get it in my hands. So he gets the right people, the right gear. But let's talk about something that, you know, I feel is like a touchy subject, being that you're part of Pro Photo. Obviously, most of the chat isn't like customers of Pro Photo, right? You'll see that there's like a lot of affordable lighting out there.
Mm-hmm.
That's no reason. There's no reason to not use affordable lighting. But what is it about these higher end brands that people should know? Like, what is it that is going on with brands like Pro Photo that makes them worth this like next level?
Well, so can you eventually achieve the same thing with other people's gear? The answer is yes. The whole point of Pro Photo is that it's gear that is consistent, it's professional. And guys, listen, I could give you a whole line of sales bullshit, but I'm going to do my best just to tell you how I feel about it. I've been using Pro Photo gear I bought my first pack and head 40 years ago. That's true story. And I still have it and I still use it today. It was called an Acute 6. It's this tiny little pack. And I could have bought back then. I had no money, zero money. So I decided to buy the light that gave me the most, the widest variety with the least amount of money, but also it was just easy to use. The consistency was on the money, and I can build on it. And all those years, I just kept building on it. And also at the time, it was the most rented gear in the country, and it still is today. It's actually the most rented gear in the world. So we have about 90-something% of the New York market and about 80-something% of the US market, and the rest of the world, we have about 75% of the market. So that meant that wherever I went and whatever I do, I can always rent and get gear. Like if I want to get something that's compatible with what I'm doing, so I can rent it and get it. But consistency, it works all the time. It very seldom fails. Yes, every piece of equipment fails. But the other thing is that when I go to shoot from shot to shot, I know I'm getting consistent output of light. I know I'm getting consistent color temperature. And when I shift something or I change something, I know that I can go back to where I was and still get that same consistent output of light. And everybody that I knew at the time, everybody in the fashion world for sure in the studios was using it. And then when we came out with this stuff that's on location, I just like, you know, if I could only own one light, it would be a Pro Photo light. And by the way, just to let you know, I've tried out everybody's lights. There's no product out there that I haven't tried. And there's nothing easier to use than ours. That's the whole idea, is that you can set it up, get it done. And the other thing is that makes you a professional. The difference between an amateur and a professional is that what you did is repeatable. So if somebody asked me to go reshoot that job, like the House of Representatives, that I can go back with equipment and then set it up and repeat that same lighting look or that same shoot. That's why they'll pay me to come down there to go do what I do. That's why there's very few other people who can do it. And the equipment is consistent. I know that every time I go out there, if I set a light to a certain power and I put the zoom head on a specific zoom setting, I know it's going to work. And there's other people in the industry who I know even work for other companies that still use Pro Photo gear. They use it because they like it. And I'm not, you know, like I said, I can use anything I want and I can use any lighting I want. I could try out any lighting I want. I stick with Pro Photo and I've stuck with them all these years because I really believe in it as a product. And I believe in I believe in the way they take care of professionals.
I think it's so easy to go like, let's go look at the forums and the blogs, and all you see is like hate over pro gear. And you're not really hearing from the people that use the stuff. You're just hearing people that want to complain about things. And that's what's sad about it is that's what most people read, are those comments, those tweets, all the comments on the YouTube videos and stuff like that. I remember when the A1 was coming out, right? This thing was coming out, and
a lot of haters.
You told me the initial price of this thing lit a fire like I've never seen in my life. People were like, $1,000 speed light. I'm like, you've never had a speed light drive you up a wall, and you've never had a speed light not give you the look you want. And what happened? You got me this, and as soon as I tried it, I tried to buy one because you know what you're looking for, you know. But how do you deal with all that hate?
You know what? I try. Sometimes you can, and sometimes you can't. Listen, you know more than you know as well as I do. The hate that comes out for every time that you use a pro photo piece of gear. That people are out there. Oh, this one is better, and that one's better, and it's a lot less money, and I can pay less. But in the end, if you're a professional or even an advanced shooter, you know, wedding, portrait, or a professional photographer, you know that when you get on set, that this shit's going to work and it's going to do what you want. Up until that point, when Profoto came to me and they told me that they were going to, this is 2 years before the A1 came out. They came to me and they said, listen, we're gonna make a like a speed light, or we're gonna make a on-camera flash. And I said, please don't do this. I said, because we were only professional gear at that point. And even the B1 was, I considered a professional product. And they kept saying to me, no, we want to come out with this. So tell me why we shouldn't do this. And I told them for a couple of things. I said, number one is I hate the way they work. I said, they're very, very hard to understand. They're complicated to get them to work together. I just hate these things. Please don't come out with it. And then they said, what else do you hate about it? And I gave them a list of about 10 things. But one of the other things I gave them was most important was the quality of light. The quality of light was horrible. Listen, anybody who's used a regular speed light knows how horrible the quality of light is coming out of this. It's terrible.
It was the blue that drove me nuts. The blue tone that came out of a speed light drove me crazy for years. And the fact that they were always weaning for power and they just weren't recycling fast enough. So every other shot's inconsistent, but not because of you, but because those batteries couldn't keep up. And I remember when you showed me this, I was like, oh, it's got a proprietary battery. What if I'm out there and I'm out of batteries? I can't run to a bodega. And that was like such a dumb argument that I had at that moment. And I didn't realize how dumb it was when I could have carried like 5 of these for the same space as a 4-pack AA battery. You know what I mean? So,
and the other thing is you can shoot them as fast as you want. So when they actually came out with it, before they came out with it, we had a meeting. I think we were in Arizona somewhere, and they gave me a box, and I was just shaking my head like, I can't believe you guys are actually doing this. This is the first time I even saw that these were all, you know, test products. So I said, okay, guys, show me how this works. They said, no, go figure it out. And so I opened the box. I opened it and I was checking it and trying to figure out how it works. And in literally about 4 minutes, because it was similar to other Profoto products in the way it works, instead of having there was power levels from 1 to 10. So I figured it out. Anyway, I got it to work. And I went outside and we had a model, and I had a guy helping me out, one of the other reps. And I asked him to hold the light off camera because I didn't trust that on camera it would look good. And I took my first picture with it, and he held the light off camera, and I said, holy shit, this looks amazing. This is really beautiful quality light. Then I decided to put it on camera. I took a bunch more shots with it. And at some point, you know what, I'll grab those shots, and next time we come on, I'll bring up those shots. But anyway, I took the shots, and not only did I fall in love with the product, but I went back in, I gave them the empty box, and I told them to not get in the flashback. And I still have that flash today, and I still use it. The quality of the light coming out of it was the most important thing to me. And the second most important thing to me, quite honestly, was how easy it is to use. I didn't have to figure out what 1/128th of a power is. I had numbers from 1 to 10. I knew those were f-stops or relative f-stops. And it was easy, and it was freaking fun. It brought me back to a day in photography where I used to go out and shoot something, and I don't have to use available light now. Now I can bring a light with me to a location. I can do street photography with it. I can do anything I want with it and still control the flash and ambient ratioing, which is, for me, super important. But it's easy. Yeah, that's easy.
When this first hit the market, people were like, it's $1,000. That means it has to be more powerful somehow. But it wasn't. It was just more efficient. Then people were like, well, it has to look amazing right off of the camera. It's like, if you're in all dark space and this is your only light, it's still going to be a hard on-camera light. It's not what it's not the price point that makes it better. It's the quality of light, that the even fall off, the ability to zoom it tighter, the clean, accurate color. The recycle time is stupid fast, and that's why you guys need to put multi-pop in this damn thing already. There's a whole lot of things that
the one thing Seth's never short of is suggestions for shit we should do to our equipment, and I appreciate all of them. And actually, some of the shit we have done, we have. You kept saying that head's too floppy, and then we fixed the head.
You fixed the fucking head. I know. And then
all
you guys helped me out by letting me swap it.
Yes.
The one other thing that I want to do, one, I want an optical sensor so that it can trigger by another strobe. There's no optical in it. And two, this is the big one. I want to control my groups. I can't get to E and F on here because they're not listed. I can't get to them. So it's like I set those lights up as all manual, whatever I want them to be. But I rarely ever use E and F as groups.
Seth, all I can say to you is just, wait it out, my friend. Wait it out. Anything's possible. Right. Anything's possible.
I know what that means. There's questions in the chat though. Will Toft is basically saying he has misfires a lot with his gear. He's just wondering, does Profoto have some radio magic to reduce or eliminate that?
Wait, who is this? Do I know this person?
Will, no, you don't know everybody. I'm just saying their name in the chat. Jesus Christ.
Okay, I just want to know if I know the guy because I could know him, and then he could.
Well, just Vanessa's in the chat. You know Vanessa.
What situation is he shooting in?
My favorite. He has a lot of
situation.
What situation is he shooting in where he's getting misfires?
Well, that's true. Is there a lot of static and noise? Is there around a lot of other frequencies? Is it too far away from the strobe? Stuff like that. I will say the frequency of the radio is the licensing of it. And a lot of times you're paying for that frequency. Like I said, Pocket Wizard, they have a frequency that only exists miles above the earth. Nobody else is on that frequency. You're paying for that with this premium product. And that's why it never, ever misfires. I've never seen a Pocket Wizard fail. It's crazy. All right.
I won't comment on that.
Okay. Well,
I won't say. I used to work for Pocket Wizard. I can't. Ab, you've
lived a lot longer than me.
Ab, you don't still represent Pocket Wizard, do you?
No. But I will say that the thing people don't realize about some of these frequencies is Pocket Wizard has a very broad frequency. And so it's good at wrapping around corners. It's better around water. Where a lot of these short wavelengths, like 2.4 gigahertz, 4 point some gigahertz, they can get eaten up sometimes. You have to say Pocket Wizard has been very reliable.
What is his? Did he say what his shooting situation was?
He says shooting? Big open space, indoor sports, and I'm usually the only shooter. So basically, no interference.
Okay, so
what equipment are you using? Like, are you always on channel 1? You know what I mean? That's another thing. Is like channel 1 is the most frequently used frequency in any system. Because
there are a lot of metal around. Sometimes metal can start to eat up radio frequency.
Oh, true. Virgil saying.
The other thing I would say to him. Okay.
No, go ahead. Say it.
Okay. No, the other thing I would say to him is that if you're having a problem with the product, you should send it in. We have a great repair center up in Florham Park, New Jersey, and those guys will tell you if there's anything. Maybe there is something wrong with the product. It happens. You know what I mean?
It's not Profoto. It's not.
Oh, he thought he's saying he's using Profoto lights.
The question is Profoto doing something better with the radio frequency so that he wouldn't have misfires if he shot Profoto?
Well, look, I've been using it for a very long time, 20 plus years. And the remotes on it that we came up with, we used to have Pocket Wizard built into our packs, so you could use Pocket Wizard with it. But if you're using it's just the hertz level that we're working on is really it's amazing, and the quality of the build quality is just much better. So we've even come out with different size remotes. Everything is built into the units now, and you can control everything remotely. So yes, you have to have more of an accurate radio built into it in order to do the things that we're doing. That's one of the reasons, actually, to be honest with you, that we left Pocket Wizard was because. And there's more. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say there's more information you can have in those frequencies as well. So now that you're starting to communicate like pre-flash, you're starting to communicate TTL. You start
right.
all
high
that
speed
stuff.
sync.
The way Pocket Wizard was doing it was very, for lack of a better term, it was somewhat manual. It wasn't as dependable. And they
Mary
were
Irene is in the chat.
Who's that?
The director of content at Adorama.
Oh,
Hey.
Sorry to cut you off, Ab.
No problem. I'm used to it.
Remember,
I just want to say Virgil in the chat said that he was hanging out with us at Adorama Inspire. Remember you and me sweating to death in that snow scene? And, and he said, I love the Pro Photo experience more than Flashpoint, but I can't afford Pro Photo. It's, it is what it is. But let's talk about that crazy setup at Adorama Inspire, because year one, every time Cliff came out from behind the stage, he smacked his head on a TV.
Oh, you have to mention that shit. I can't fucking.
It was amazing. I can't believe he just walked through a TV amazing. Like it was nothing. It's on a stand, and he's like, bang.
No. It wasn't amazing. No, look, when you hit this big bald head and you got dents in it now, I still have a dent in here for somewhere from hitting that TV set. It was horrible. It was horrible. And every time I came out, Seth was standing there waiting and like announcing to people, watch him hit his head. Watch him hit his head. And then I would hit my head.
Bang! It was like the Gong Show. It was nuts. It was crazy. I've never seen that before. And then the next year at Inspire, Cliff is turning beet red, sweating his brains out, yelling to a floor of people to shoot at this snow scene. And I was like, Cliff, you're dying. You're like physically dying. And then he just handed me his mic and just went and sit down.
I did, man. I was dying. But listen, the most important thing is that people had fun, right? We had a great time, man. I didn't care even if the shooters were having a good time. I cared that we were having a good time, and we did have a good time. And we got great pictures out of it.
We always have
really good shots. Yeah, man. It was great.
Yeah, it was good. I think what people miss out on videos and stuff like that is that hands-on, like someone right next to you, kind of like pushing you. And I think I've never seen anybody like verbally give someone energy like Cliff. It's like, yeah, come on, rah! And they like physically take their camera, take the shot, and they give it back to them.
That's why the social distancing thing is really making me crazy, man. I need to have that interaction. I need to be able to hand somebody something and be yelling at them at the same time as I take their picture.
Both of you guys are going crazy from this.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ab more than me because I have my wife here, and Ab's got.
And he has a dog.
And I have a dog. I have a dog and my wife.
Ab's cooking though. Ab's cooking every day, all day. He's on Instagram Live, pumping out some like marvelous.
You guys want to know how to cook with garlic? He's your guy. He's amazing. He's amazing at it. He is.
It's insane.
Pesto,
garlic.
Nice pesto.
Pesto. You put garlic in pesto? No, I figured. You put garlic in everything.
Pretty much everything.
Talahard is saying Ab has a whiskey collection to comfort him at night. Cliff has ridiculous alcohol over there as well.
For Cliff's 40th birthday. Wink.
Oh yeah, no. Okay.
We got
say 60. It's okay.
We got for his 60th birthday. We got 100 different vodkas.
Jesus Christ!
And they had an ice luge to pour the vodka into that was in the shape of my face. That's scary. That's scary, man.
Vanessa Joy came to me with a temporary tattoo of your face as a pirate. That's how you know you're a legend in this industry.
and I loved where she put it. It was amazing.
Cliff, can I ask you a challenging question?
You can ask. I don't know. Promise I'll answer it. But what the
favorite light of all time and favorite light shaper of all time?
My favorite what of all time?
Favorite light and favorite light shaper. I know I have mine. What's yours? And Seth, you have to answer this too.
Oh, fuck you, man.
So you go first, Seth.
Not tonight.
All right.
Favorite?
All right.
Who's going first?
I'll go first.
Right.
First of all, my favorite modifier, if I could only have one to do whatever, would be a 1 foot by 1 foot box. Just small, tight boxes to sculpt with. Because I can rip open that diffuser and make it a magnum reflector kind of, or I can put the diffuser on and have a flag box for a really sculpted light. As for the light source, I keep on going back to speed lights. I don't know what it is. I guess maybe because I know I can always just jam into a backpack and always have them. But I've never gone like I need a humongous amount of power until I totally go one day I need a humongous amount of power. So I don't know. I guess like whatever. I guess since the A1's my favorite speed light, I guess an A1 in a small box. That's what you always see me with anyway. I don't know. Maybe. Now I feel weird. I feel like I made a wrong answer. You're looking at me weird.
No. There's no wrong answers, man. Right? There's no wrong answer, right, Ab? Look at Ab. Ab, there's no wrong answer, right?
Okay, yeah. 1x3 strip. A 1x3 strip. A 1x3 strip.
Ab, what do you like? Ab, what do you like? Ab, what's your favorite? Go ahead, and I'll go last.
I would say if I had.
Don't you steal mine. I'm going to steal mine.
I'm going to cheat a little bit.
Don't steal mine. Don't steal mine.
I'm going to say Profoto Pro 8.
Okay.
Because I think the original Profoto, not knocking the new stuff with the dome. I think the dome is great. But I think the original Profoto heads, like you guys have the Pro 10 and now the Pro 8, I think it's the best design head the industry's ever seen. That's why the design's never changed. And I think that coupled with a...
Don't you dare. I'm
going to cheat. I'm going to pick 2 light shapers because I can't.
No, that's not shit. That's wrong. You can't do that. You got to pick one.
I made the game, so I changed the rules.
No, bull fucking shit. Bullshit. Hey, folks. Okay. Hey, are people writing shit about this? Like, say how much bullshit that is. Call bullshit on it. Okay.
It's not bullshit.
All right. Go ahead. So what is it?
Favorite light shaper of all time, if I could only choose one. So if I could only choose one, it would be a 1x3 strip.
See, I said the same thing. See, I told you. Boom.
If I could choose 2, it would be
that's cheating.
Profoto 8-foot reflector, the original one. The OG 8-foot reflector.
Fuck you! You stole my. That's it. That was mine. So I was gonna go.
Whoa. You don't even own one anymore.
I do bullshit. You
don't even own one. You've been trying to buy mine for years, and I'm not gonna sell it. The original 8-foot.
No. The 7-foot.
Not these new ones that you need to be Hercules for.
No. I have the original and the original. I have that one.
It's unbelievable. And then
8-foot reflector.
It'll be a telezoom reflector.
See, now he's got 3. Now you got 3. That's wrong. That's absolutely. Now you're changing the rules again. First you went with 1, then it's 2, now it's 3. That's fucking bullshit.
I can change the rules all I want.
No, you can't.
The 8-foot, the 8-foot is the focusable one, right?
Yeah,
they were all. It has 2 poles. It's the original.
The one that I have is the one that we still have. That's still available. It's a 240. It's unbelievable. It's the 8-foot. It's called a 240. But no, bullshit. It's deep. This one's deep. The one you're talking about, the one I shoot with, is the same one that you used to shoot with. I'm telling you, I have it. I own it.
How are you going to argue about what I think is better light shaper?
Pull up a photo of it. Pull up a photo of this. Find a photo of it and pull it up and screen share it.
Yes, Ab. Yeah, go ahead.
It's the original Profoto 8-foot. You can't find it because
stealing my shit. Bullshit.
Ab has
bullshit. I got it in my garage.
In New York City.
If you weren't such a pain in the ass, I'd go down to my garage right now and bring it up here and show it to you.
You're talking about the para, right? You're talking about the para, right?
Yeah,
it's before that.
No,
he doesn't like me bringing up old, unbelievable.
No, that's not true. No, I like old. I'm old. I like old. Ab, stop. You're full of shit, man. Stop with this stuff.
Let me find
it. It's the 8-foot reflector. All right, go ahead. Show it to him.
Seth, you know that I'm right because I got him Profoto 8-foot.
To be fair, Cliff was used in that reflector when he only had 2 liver spots instead of 80. So he's totally
no. We can't go there. We cannot go there. We're gonna start getting in. I'm gonna start doing stuff about tattoos. It's gonna be ugly.
Seth, there's no more. Oh, I found a picture of it.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, do that. 1 second.
8-foot reflector. I don't think I've ever used this.
Yes, you have.
It's not the parabolic. The parabolic.
It is. It's the same. It's the same one. It is the same
old one.
The same freaking reflector. He's full of shit.
Cliff, let me have my moment, okay? Okay.
No, you're stealing my shit. You're stealing my wind. You're stealing my wind. I had it, dude. I don't like when you.
Oh my god.
I knew you were going to say that. Screen, but okay, can you see that?
Yeah, it's focusable.
This right here.
See, wait. See, it says 240, 8-foot 240. That's the same one I'm talking about. That's the same thing.
He knows.
It's the same light. It's the same freaking light.
He knows it's different.
No, so I'm going to tell you what.
Because Profoto has their spies watching.
No, no, that's not true. How many times did I shoot with the Ab? How many times did you see me shoot with the red couch? Do the red couch shoots?
I'm Cliff. What you're not admitting is there was an 8-foot reflector before the 240 that is a legendary reflector, and none of them exist.
It's the same freaking light. We put 240 on it. It's the same fucking light. What is wrong?
Why does it weigh 30? It weighs 30 pounds more.
Because they made it better. I don't know why. It's
the same light.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Grumpy Old Men.
It's like if you,
welcome to Grumpy
Old Men. It's not. It's you know how good. If you want to buy it off
bullshit. Stop with the bullshit. No. First of all, I have one. I don't need to buy that. I need the 5 foot and the 7 foot, which you have that I want to buy off you. No. What about the one that I did buy off you? What's the one that I bought? The Pro Big. I bought that one that I almost took my finger off with it. Remember that?
That was actually the best one ever built. So
we traded for it. We traded for that one.
Can I tell the story behind it?
Yes.
Yeah, go.
So back probably 2000, probably the year 2000, Profoto came out with an unbelievable parabolic reflector that shared the same technology as Breezy. And so it was unbelievably deep. Literally, if you touched it, it was like a drum. It was built like you've never seen anything built before in your life. And Breezy filed a lawsuit, and Profoto had to destroy them all.
Oh my God.
They took this unbelievable reflector and they were throwing them in the trash.
Yeah. They threw some of them out.
Somehow I found one. And I traded, I can't say who I traded. I traded someone an Olympus 50-50, which was like an old 10 megapixel, 6 megapixel, 5 megapixel, 4.3. This one, 4 megapixels was like amazing. Like you're like 4 megapixels, holy shit. And so I kept it for years. And then one day Cliff traded me and he gave me such a good trade, I had to finally let go of it. And it's the last one left in the world.
Yes, it is.
Period. And now
I like having it.
And now there's the 8 foot that I'm talking about was amazing because it was about a third of the weight of the current 240. A normal person can open it up. You didn't have to like eat your Wheaties in the morning.
Dude, I can open the. Oh, you're so weak, man.
Because you're on steroids.
No, seriously. When we do the giant team photo, remember how many years I used that 240? It was unbelievable. It was easy. So I had to use a crankometer.
The light is amazing. The light is absolutely amazing. The giants.
Wait, those are the crank reflectors, right? Is that what those are?
Seth, when you come to the studio, I'm going to show you the OG 8
Wait,
foot.
what's a crank reflector? What do you mean?
The ones that can actually focus down. They go like this when you crank them.
No.
You know what I'm talking about.
This one just is on a pole, and you can bring. Oh yes, you can slide it in and out on the head. Yes, you can, but you can.
Yeah, it's a parabolic, focusable parabolic.
Yeah, but it only focuses by moving it, unscrewing one of the rods and putting it on a shorter rod or a longer rod.
Right.
That's what it does.
Inverted. And it's inverted. It's facing into the reflector.
Exactly.
Push it.
Yes.
Yeah. Almost like the bronze color.
Yeah, almost like it. But it's 8 foot.
40 is amazing now. I will say that.
The beautiful part about it was when I do a lot of these shoots where I have a lot of people stepping on a set, or I have just I have one person or a lot of people. The quality of light out of it is beautiful, and it doesn't matter where on the set they are. They can be from one edge of the set to the other. The drawback to it is you got to have people helping you with it and you're not using it outdoors unless you have a lot of people helping you, because if that thing takes off, you're going to kill somebody. And it'll take off in a wind. I've used it on a beach once. That will be the last time I ever do that. But
what did you use that? Do you remember Inspire 1 where you had the martial artists? You had a triple head in some. I forgot what you had.
Yes, that was it.
That thing was triple enormous.
Head. Right. So that one, that's the same reflector that I had a triple head. I had a thing so I could do a triple head built out of it. So we put 3 heads in. What's that?
You should tell them how you stole that from me.
No. I did. No. So here's what happened. No. Here's what happened. Here's the story. So that is true. I stole it from you. But this is why I stole it from you. So I sent mine, the one I had designed, the one I designed and made, I sent it to Sweden so that they could try to build them, right? So Sweden goes ahead and builds a couple of them, and Ab gets it and not me. Like they make it actually beautifully designed, and Ab gets it. So, you know, Ab stole books from me, so I stole that from him. I stole it back because I never get mine back from Sweden. Sweden never sent me mine back, but Ab had one. So I didn't steal it from them. I borrowed it. I never steal anything from Ab. I just borrow shit. And it's unbelievable. So, you remember, were you there, Ab, when we did the shoot with the 20x24 camera, the Polaroid 20x24? So what we did, we took, what's that?
Didn't you help out the 9/11 shoot with Joe?
I did. I helped Joe out just getting equipment, but I wasn't there for the shoot. But we did another shoot with the Polaroid 20x24 camera, and you need a lot of power to get out of that light. So what we did is we took bi-tube heads and we put them into those 3 pieces into the reflector, and we took that had a total of, I think it was 2, 4, 6 packs, and we had 6 packs all on 2400 watt seconds. And so each one of the bi-tubes was putting out, I think it was 14,000 watt seconds of power coming out of one head.
Jesus Christ.
And so it was giving us like F60 something, which is perfect for that camera because you really need to have a lot of light coming out of it. And then we did shoots for it. Unfortunately, one of my assistants, I think he may still be blind. He literally stuck his head inside of it to look at what was on in there, and somebody hit the flash, and I think he may have lost sight in one of his eyes. I'm not positive, but it was so I'm joking a little bit, but it was so bright. It was unbelievable. Actually, you know who that was? That was Nelson, actually.
Look, but I'll give Profoto big props on one thing, and I would say Profoto is the only lighting company that makes a piece of gear that can solve virtually any photographic problem. I mean, like what Cliff just described, like shooting with, if you need basically 2400, 2448, if you need over 1600 watt seconds coming out of one head, you could probably only do that with Profoto. Seriously.
You think Broncolor could pull that?
For Broncolor, they make their Profotos.
Broncolor has that. You know what Broncolor has that I want to use a lot? That UV head. I want to smash some UV strobe.
Broncolor has bi-tubes, and they're 3200 watt seconds, which is very similar to Profoto's 24. But I don't know if they have the bracket to put 3 bi-tubes into one piece.
They don't.
You know what Profoto pulled off that was kind of crazy, and Cliff was there for it? They did an entire music video out of just still frames using strobes.
That was in my old studio.
Dab, you were there. Ab was there.
That was in my old studio in Hoboken, New Jersey. And a good friend of mine, Richard Patterson. And it was this video Hypernova. And literally they shot the whole thing with Pro 8s at, what was it, 12 frames per second or something like that at the time? I think 12 frames per second was as fast as we could go at the time. And the video is actually
online,
still
you'll
amazing.
Still see the video
it was crazy.
Yeah, it's still up. It was Hypernova, right? Yeah, it was Hypernova.
It was called Sinners, right? Sinners or something?
Yes.
Oh, that's why I Seth liked it so much. There was a lot of blood in there.
There was.
Not my blood. So
we worked till like 2, 3 in the morning on that thing. It was so much fun, man. That was awesome.
I got it.
We had to eat White Castles.
But it was fun.
I
got a little sick from White Castles afterwards, but it was fun.
Yeah, this is it. So this was all shot in single strobe, in single images, but it happened to have been done with Profoto lights.
It was an Iranian rock band.
Yeah, they snuck out of Iran to get to do this. Wow, we could use those gas masks now. We snuck out of Iran to get to do these, to come to the States to perform. They used to do underground performing in Iran.
Where's the BTS though?
There is some.
BTS was the craziest.
Yeah, no. You actually, there is.
So that was my first time shooting a video. Was the BTS of this? This is the BTS. This is the first interview I've ever done.
Let me see if I can find the BTS.
Right. The behind the scenes is amazing.
And somehow Cliff kept working the entire time.
What did I do?
Oh, here it is. Got it.
Can you play? Can you play with audio?
Yeah, play with audio.
Yeah,
if you can.
All right. Calm it down. Jeez, kids. I will turn this live stream around. I swear to God.
All right.
All right.
Have we lost a lot of people on this talk? Because I think we're boring people. I'm not really sure. Are we fucking boring people?
They're weird, man. They I think I'm boring them half the time, and they go like, "No, this is great." Full screen unavailable. Full screen unavailable. What? Hang on a second. I'm going to try to put this up in its own window.
You got to stop that, man. Yeah, there you go. Okay, there you go. This was craziness here.
So this was nuts. When I heard that this is what it was, there's your bald head. Wait, what'd that say? Pro Photo 8, 10 packs, 16,000 photographs.
There's my 8-foot app.
10 frames a second. So, Seth, you'd have loved this location. This was my old studio. And this is like a courtyard.
Look at Cliff holding it.
Michael Fuchs on a Steadicam.
The video's about a band called Hypernova. The video's about the song called Sinners. I wanted to do this shoot with Hypernova, so I figured what was the best way to illuminate this fact.
Seth, you should get Richard on here.
Stop motion, instead of using constant lighting,
I could get him on here.
Strobe lighting. And Pro 8s were the best solution.
This is before Bartek, the radio.
Wow.
So why were they doing it like this and not filming it?
Really far distance in order to illuminate the walls.
He just said so.
Because we're trying to not just create one picture, but a series of pictures, and we're trying to create an environment where the Steadicam operator can.
So this was probably 2008,
with the band
somewhere around there.
Make a really creative.
It should say 2009, September 11th,
2009.
Mike, that we would be photographing this in a stop motion field.
I'm Mike Fuchs, friend of Richard Patterson. Richard shooting.
Can you pause that, Seth? Can you pause that?
Snow camera.
But
the frame right before, yeah, when he was being interviewed. So a cool thing here, if you look at the camera rig, they have a mini DV cam on the bottom, that little gray silver box. The mini DV cam is putting out a like UHF signal to a little portable like television, like baby monitor. And that's how they're framing the shot.
Because they couldn't do it through the camera. They couldn't do the live view through the camera and shoot at the same time.
Yeah, that technology didn't really exist back then. And so they literally have two cameras up there using one of the cameras, that little silver camera on the front, to frame the shot. That's what's outputting the video feed.
Yeah, you know, Seth, you would have loved this shoot. This was
doing
crazy.
Everything on the digital 1D Mark
yeah,
III,
well,
on the
this was
Steadicam.
before I
The
think.
providing a very fluid.
This was before I clashed with you.
It's not very haphazard. So everything looks like it's on dolly. Everything looks like it's.
Yeah, this was definitely because in 2009 I was still shooting Speedotrons.
In order to get the proper exposure and the proper frames per second.
There you go. So there's the DV cam.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of a wanky rig, but it worked great.
The Red Rock Micro DSLR setup.
There's a Talk Wizard on the back.
System helping us out bracketry-wise. Allows us to attach follow focus motors wirelessly so we can control focus. So the first AC is taken care of.
Another interesting thing that we're doing is because there's no live feed from the actual 1D Mark III while the camera's shooting, it's still.
So how'd you get the recycling up so fast?
The bracket that Mike Fuchs uses to hold a small DV camera.
It wasn't a problem.
Necessarily getting in the way of
the pack kept up.
Lens. That's feeding Mike the
pack and the lights kept up, no problem.
How'd you come up with the concept for the styling?
I approached my stylist Marissa, who I work with.
There was one rig you guys had where it was like spinning around, and I can't remember where the hell it was.
We came up with a series of visual stop motion. Instead of using constant lighting, use strobe lighting. And Pro 8s were the best solution because they shoot the fastest.
Just crazy. Look at how fast. If you had epilepsy, even the slightest bit, you were hitting that floor with a foamy mouth.
Can frame up the shot with the band.
It was
with the band in the background.
Oh my God, this is making me happy.
16 hours of shot.
Look at that.
So I approached Mike Fuchs, the
Seth, you must love that
operator.
shit
I told
right
Mike that we would be photographing this in a stop motion.
Use more blood, but yeah, sure.
Friend of Richard Patterson. Richard shooting this music video.
Cinematic.
I mean, look at that.
It's not very haphazard. Everything looks like it's on dolly. Everything looks like
not
very haphazard.
Look at this.
Very fluid, cinematic look. It's not very
How
haphazard.
insane is that?
Everything looks like it's on dolly. Everything looks like.
I mean, Steadicam was a thing back then, but this guy that was doing it was amazing.
Using Pro 8 Airs in order to get the proper exposure and proper frames per second. We also are using the Red Rock Micro DSLR setup.
Which looks like such a baby.
It's the first AC is taken care of.
Another interesting thing
That must have been stressful, though.
There's no live feed from
It wasn't really. It was just we had to get a lot done in a short amount of time.
We've devised a bracket that Mike Fuchs uses.
And downloading the cards was crazy.
Which doesn't necessarily get
That was
in
crazy.
the way of
That was
the
crazy.
1D Mark III's lens. That's feeding Mike the scene by which
So
he can
there's some
navigate
questions
through.
in the chat.
The concept of the styling.
I approached
K-Photo is asking, would you have to shoot it wide open with the lens? The lens wouldn't be able to keep a consistent aperture if it's closed down?
Once the aperture's set, it's set. I'm not sure I understand the question.
I don't think I understand it either.
I guess they're asking if the aperture had to stay open the whole way instead of having to keep doing actuations to keep up with the consistency of the strobe.
Oh, you mean to leave the mirror up? You mean?
Yeah.
No, it can keep up.
No, he's asking wide open with the lens. Yeah, I guess that is a weird question.
It's going to keep up. I mean, the camera shot 12 frames a second or whatever it was. And our flash could do 10 frames a second. No, our flash could do, I think it was 12 frames a second. Yeah, I think it was 12 frames a second. So the camera was able to keep up, and so was our flash. So
yeah,
that's why he created it. But he tried to do it to create that stop motion look. Prior to this, he tried to do it using After Effects. After he was done shooting, but it never really looked right. So he got the stop motion look by actually using strobes. That's what gave him the look that he wanted for it.
What do you think was like your craziest setups? Each one of you, what do you think has been like your most difficult, crazy setups? I know you both gotten some weird stuff over the years. Was that one of your hardest there, Cliff?
This one?
Yeah.
No. This was just new. It wasn't really hard. Like, it was figuring out how the light was going to flow, and that we had so many different sets and so many different looks that I had to change it for each one. So I was, I guess they called me the lighting director or something, but I was changing the light looks for each one of them, but to have it still look consistent. So that wasn't really that hard. I still think the first time that I did the House of Representatives, it wasn't that it was that hard. It was just that I was that nervous. I was really nervous about two things. One, doing something on the floor of the House of Representatives that I shouldn't have done, because you know me, I easily get arrested. And then, and there were people,
your record.
Yeah, exactly. Well, sitting doing some of the stuff that we did on the floor of the House that, we weren't supposed to do. But the other thing was that just being there was so overwhelming. And then they wouldn't give me any of the diagrams of the floor of the House. I asked them for, like, do you have like some kind of drawings of the floor of the House? They said, we do, but we can't give them to you. Like, I wanted to know what the distances were between the camera and where the lights would be set up and where the seats are on the floor of the House. And they wouldn't give me any of that stuff. So I had to go down there and figure it out same day. So I gave myself the first time 2 days to do it. And I ended up doing it in about a day. And the next day we went back just to double check everything. But that was the toughest one, because I didn't know what I was walking into. I had been there before, but I didn't really know you don't really get the idea of the size of the place and how dark it is down below and how much light you need to throw. So that was the most difficult. But now, like, I could do that in my sleep. Like, now it doesn't seem like it was, but I remember back then it was a real challenge.
Yeah, well, it's anything. It's like when you crack the code, when you solve the puzzle, you have the answer when you walk in there. It's like any other type of shoot you figure out. If you asked me how to shoot an alien 15 years ago, I'd have been like, Now it's like you plug and play, you go forward. What about you?
Where do you
what's been,
find
like,
an
your
alien?
craziest? How do I find an alien?
Yes.
They abducted you a while ago. That's why you're like this.
That's true. I don't know where you're finding aliens.
Ab, what about you? What's been your like most difficult setup?
I would say it wasn't a lot of lights. It was so one of the Cliff invited me to this workshop starting probably 2004 called the Eddie Adams Workshop. And my assignment was to go to a prison with a student and help her photograph on the prison yard. And so halfway when I get there, they're like, Ab, just so you know, we didn't get you a pass. You just got to figure out a way to sneak in. So true story.
It's true story. True story.
On our way to the prison, so I get out of the car and I tuck in my shirt and I start looking like super fucked up. And I think I even had like some fake glasses or like, you know, at the time I wore glasses just to drive. So I went, put my glasses on and, you know, I'm with this student who's she's probably like 95 pounds wet. And we get to the prison and they're like, okay, we have her name, but we don't have your name. But I was just like, are you sure? I was like, I'm the one who made the arrangements here, you know, because they didn't know the name of the real producer. And so we're going through this and they call the warden, they're like, we only have one person, we can't let in two. They're like, oh no, you can go in, go ahead. So we get to the prison, we have to like strip everything down, like, they go through the bags. Like airport security is not real security. When you go through like security getting stuff into a prison, they check everything. When I mean everything, they literally check like under your fingernails. Like they checked every bag. And then they let us out onto the prison yard before the inmates get there. And all the guards are just like, this is a bad idea. You guys shouldn't be here. This is so stupid. Like, we can't believe this gets approved. And you're just sitting there like, thanks, God. Like, okay, cool. Like, you know, great, you know? And so then they let, so this next statement isn't to be racist. It's just a true statement. The girl I was with was a young Chinese girl. And when they let all the inmates out, there was like a big group. There was just like, fellas, we got Chinese food today.
Oh man, that's wrong.
Yeah. And like just these
Jesus.
And so it was us on the yard with like 3 guards and about 200 inmates. And it was just very uneasy just because some people were really cool, but other people were trying to find out everything about you. Like, oh, what's your name? Where do you live? You know, like it was like being interrogated. And it was just like, and then because she's around, a lot of guys start like taking their shirts off. And then the guards coming over like, you can't do that. Put your shirts back on. Stop. Like you, Seth. You know, they want to show all their tattoos, you know?
Excuse me. Why don't you stand up and show people these high-class pants you got on? How about that?
Wait a second. On house party, dude, how many times you take your shirt off? You never wear your shirt on house party.
You guys house party me in the middle of the freaking night. I'm not wearing a fucking shirt.
We're just guys on there, Seth. We're just guys. I don't understand.
Seth walks around there butt naked on house party. If once Seth gets out of here, trust me, it's a whole different world. It's weird.
Folks, you should join house party. We'll let you in. You'll see. You'll see what we're talking about.
My own channel. You see this shit?
All right, you know what?
So the hardest part about that shoot was convincing people to actually be photographed was the difficult part. Is now you're on a prison yard with inmates and her assignment is to take portraits of inmates.
But who set up the assignment?
It was a joke. You remember, you know the photographer Vincent LaFerre?
No.
Oh. Well, there was a producer.
He was a producer.
A New York Times producer.
Yeah. Michelle Egan's.
Was it Michelle McNally?
Oh, no. It was Michelle McNally, yes. Joe McNally's ex-wife.
But Michelle McNally got us the, sorry. But she's the one who put the assignment together. And there's a producer, Josh Hainer, who is the one who forgot to get the extra. So like some things that we did in order to get like other shots in the prison that we weren't allowed to get, I took a piece of gaff tape and I taped up the mirror on the camera so that you didn't hear the mirror slap. And we were just like walking around, like taking pictures like in the parts where we weren't supposed to take pictures.
Pictures were amazing. They were really great.
If you want to use a portable light, we had to use Pro 7Bs, which I miss having like that much power and on location. But so we had, and they wouldn't let us carry some of the stuff in cases. And so, we're walking around carrying 50 pounds worth of lights and C-stands around this prison. And I had no idea how to get out of it. And I would probably say that was probably the most difficult assignment because I didn't know if I'd be able to actually get there.
That's crazy, man.
I got one like that though. I got one, but I don't know. Maybe I should save it for next time. It's about the photographing the president at the White House. That was one of the assistants that we were with walked up to the guardhouse, and he walks up to the guardhouse and he says, "We're here to shoot the president." I shit you not. True story. He goes up to the guardhouse outside the White House and says, "We're here to shoot the president." And the photographer who was shooting, I was just doing the lighting. The photographer there was Eddie Adams, and he almost killed the guy. Thank God the people in the guardhouse there knew who Eddie Adams was, because if they didn't know, we would have been in crazy, crazy trouble. But I'll tell the rest of that story another time. But it's that's a fun story. That was scary and fun at the same time.
Oh, Clip, it's similar to when we shot the house and you got out of the car at the wrong security gate.
No. Don't tell that story. Don't tell that story.
They pulled M16 out. I started ducking in the car, and he keeps walking towards them.
Crazy white boys, yo. Crazy white boys.
They put there like, stop walking. And he was like, no. I'm just here to House representative. And I was just like, no, you don't say no. They have AR, whatever they are. I don't know guns. I guess AR-15s or whatever. Like, they just looked intense.
Those guys did not look happy when I was walking up to that guardhouse. They were not happy at all. They were looking at me like, what the I just parked outside. I left Ab in the car. And I walk up to the guardhouse and I'm like trying to explain to them that we have a pass to get in, but we're not here until tomorrow morning. And I wanted to make sure that was the place we were supposed to park. I wasn't sure. And the guy freaked the fuck out. He just kept telling me, "Sir, back up, please. Stand over there." And I just kept saying, "Well, I got to show you this paper." And Ab is in the car. I don't know if he was laughing or crying, but he was doing one of those two.
I was getting ready to just back out of there. I was going to leave him by himself. I was out of there. Like, I was not.
Oh, man.
No,
they're going to do a documentary on Netflix one day about both of you guys together. They're going to do one of those Netflix documentaries one day.
No, it is.
Come hang out with us one day, Seth.
Do you ever see the movie Twins? You ever see the movie Twins? That's like what me and Ab are. It's fucked up. It's always messed up. It always ends up. What's that? You're Schwarzenegger. I'm Danny DeVito.
You just made me Danny DeVito. You believe that?
No, I'm Danny DeVito. Do I look like Schwarzenegger? No. Come on.
Great.
I mean, I'm always.
I just meant the interaction between.
Ab, you're never really around though. I always see Cliff, but you never come through all the time, man. You come in. You're like a Boba Fett. You pop in every now and then,
It's Seth. You keep vampire hours. Like,
yes, that's true.
I've never seen you not. You work 24 hours a day.
We all do. We all are always on the clock. You know that. You motherfuckers are talking to Japan at like 3 a.m. This guy's talking to Sweden. Then you're gonna go help some crazy legend do some crazy shit. I'm over here plugging a camera into a wall and talking to a fucking TV. What, are you kidding me?
Oh man. How did we end up on this channel? Who asked? By the way, did I need to put deodorant on for this? Did I need to? I brushed my teeth, I put deodorant on, and I'm not sure why. I don't understand.
You never put it on anyway, so I don't know what it is.
Downhill now, people. It's going down.
No, I know, man. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go there. But just remind me next time we come on. I'll tell you the story of the White House. That was a good one. Yep.
Crazy, man. You guys are crazy.
Not far after September 11th.
Can I?
Oh.
Wait, it says we can show you some pictures, but we couldn't share them here.
Yeah, we'll show them to you later, but we cannot share them. We're not allowed to. But they are funny pictures. Ab, tell them the story about the house and you doing the what is it? The MTV? Was it MTV Cribs? Something like that.
So we filmed. There are certain parts we had to get into to light, and so I had to use the bathroom, and once you're in there, you're like, I pay taxes, I'm gonna use whatever room I want. So I walked into this bathroom.
That's fucking true.
I walked into this bathroom and I went and got Cliff. I said, Cliff, you got to come see this.
It was unbelievable.
We didn't know. We were in the Speaker of the House's personal bathroom. And they got TVs. There's like a towel warmer. There's a shoe shine machine. Like,
dude, it was unbelievable, man. It was beautiful.
You paid for it. You paid for it. It's all good.
And we're not supposed to be in there. And so we started shooting like a rap video inside of here.
But we didn't know. We didn't know we weren't supposed to be in there, right? At the time, we didn't know.
There's a bathroom.
And we also found out that we didn't know when we were on the floor of the house doing all these, like we were working, but we were joking, And we didn't realize when we walked outside that these guards were sitting outside laughing at the video cameras of us doing all this crazy shit on the floor. So we got it. And they recorded it, I'm sure. I'm sure they did. But Ab wanted to build that bathroom in his home. He said he wants to someday have a bathroom like this in his house. That's what he was saying. It was beautiful.
It's our taxpayer dollars at work. And
But don't you, no matter what, when you go in that building, you feel somehow more American. I don't know what that means exactly. And you just feel like it's an impressive place to be. It really is beautiful. It's unbelievably beautiful. And when you think of the number of I don't know, over the past 70 years that the speaker, where the Speaker of the House stood for those last 70 years. And also that's where the president has given his State of the Union for the past, I guess it's almost 70 years, at least, maybe more, that he's given the State of the Union from right where we were, not exactly where we were standing, but near where we were standing. Right.
But how do you get that job? How do you get that job? How do you get called to do that job?
That was an interesting one. That's a good question. So what happened was I was at a rental house in New York, at a rental house in New York called Photo Care. And they got a call and these guys wanted to rent like 20 Speedotron packs. And they wanted to rent Speedotron packs. And the guy said, listen, the guy at Photo Care said to him, you're never going to find 20 or 25 packs in New York. There's no way you're going to find them. And why would you want to use Speedotron? Why aren't you using what everybody else uses? And they said, well, the guy who used to shoot this used to do it with Speedotron packs, and we wanted to use Speedotron because we kind of know them. And they said, so Fred recommended to them that they use Profoto. And at the same time he recommended that they use Profoto, he said to me, I'm boring you. Am I boring you? Because if you sleep. Anyway.
I've been going nonstop.
I know you have. So anyway, so they asked me, they said, Fred, do you know anybody that could help, light this or help use these packs? Because we have no idea how to use them. And they really didn't know how to light it either. So they asked if they could have help. But I think they didn't trust Fred. So Fred recommended me. They didn't trust Fred. So they were getting another quote from 2 other rental houses in New York. And they said, do you know anybody that can help? And the other 2 rental houses also recommended me. So I had an assistant with me who had been working with me at the Mac Group. She came down there with me and we did it. And that was the first time. Then after that, they would hire me every 2 years to do it. And they did it. I don't know. I think it was 4 or 5 times maybe that I've done it.
Oh, Michelle.
There you go. Yeah. Michelle Brady.
See, but that's legacy status. When you have other people without you even calling them to tell them to recommend you, telling them that you're the guy, that's how you hit legacy status. When it's like that many people recommend you, especially that high up. If it's a rental house saying, think about it this way, a rental house sees every pro in New York come through there and they go, nah, call up Cliff. That's how you hit that mark. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, and it was like I said in the beginning, it was a scary thing, but it was a challenge, which is what I like, and that's why now the bigger the shoot, like I'm supposed to do, I forgot who it was. I don't know if it's another sports team. I'll just say that there's another sports team in New York that I'm supposed to photograph in September. I don't know if it's going to happen now, but I'm doing that one just as a challenge, just because I think it will be fun to try it. It's a different kind of, it's not the Giants. Sure, absolutely.
Send me in.
Yeah, man. You can come help.
It's that easy. See that, guys?
Yeah. No, it's been
no,
fun,
I'm serious.
Listen, I've got to do more things and been involved in things that I could have never dreamed of because of this profession and because of what I know and what I've learned. And I've got to hang out with some of the coolest people, you, Ab, people who I love hanging out with, and I love talking about photography and love taking pictures, which is what I like to do.
And there's such heavy stuff happening. We were this close to going to the imaging department at the Met, and I'm dying to go shoot down in that. Can you imagine that, documenting 17 BC statues and works of art? Can you imagine what that must be like? All the calibration that they do. They use Pro Photo. I mean, I think they use Pro Photo and Hasselblad. And I am, phase one. I don't know. But either way, like, these things to get in there, to make this, like, it's, anybody can shoot whatever, but you get asked to shoot this one thing that only exists in this world, the House of Representatives, that statue from that era of Greece. Like, it's fucking crazy.
And Seth, they have mummies and a lot of dead things down there.
That's my legacy. That's my legacy.
Aliens. They have aliens.
You guys go tell people you're going to assassinate the president and go piss all over their bathroom, and I got fucking mummies and shit as my guy.
We had good aim. Not one drop hit that house.
Not a chance.
Did you have a sword fight? Did you guys like?
No. We did have some fun in there, but I can't tell you what we did.
And between you, I thought they would use like Charmin. They use cheap ass toilet paper in there.
They do not. You're full of crap.
You're obsessed.
You're just saying that now.
You're obsessed with
toilet
paper, man.
You know,
this was. Have you heard of government cheese? This was government toilet paper.
They don't want you to use it. They don't want you to use the bathroom like that. That's why.
They are not wasting. I just want to see what they're working with. You know.
You're obsessed.
Oh my God.
I want to. I'm sure Charmin has like a fun setup for some of them. They might as well get some fun.
A fun.
By the way, any place that says "do not take photographs here," that's where Ab takes pictures. Wherever it says "do not," like you cannot photograph here, I'm just saying. House of Representatives.
It was on an iPhone, so I don't think it counts unless it's.
Oh, that's not a photograph. That's not a. Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Did you know there used to be an app for your phone that could recognize your ear when you put it to it, and then it would activate your camera, and that's how you could take pictures at a museum?
No.
Yeah, I had it, and they took it apart. It was called like Little Spy or something like that. It recognized your ear pattern on your phone on the touch part, so that it would take photos when you had it touching your ear.
So it had ear recognition software? Is that what it was? It would just recognize
I think it just recognized, like, I think you had to put your ear to it. It recognized the curve of the outside of your ear. And if it felt that all at one time, it took pictures. So you can walk by a painting.
It's not specifically your ear. It was just okay, I got you.
Yeah. So you have to beat yourself in the head with your phone in order to take.
No, you lightly touch it, not like an uncle beats you in a closet like we all go through, right? Or just me? Was that just
no.
If you remove the closet part, then it makes sense. The closet part is where it gets.
I don't understand.
But that's why they have to burn you with cigarettes to show that they love you. Am I wrong? Was that no? That didn't happen to you?
No.
That was just me. Was it just
Cliff,
me?
Let's just say yes. You know what?
Yes. Yeah, that happened to me.
It happened to me. Totally normal. Totally normal.
Totally normal.
Cliff. Well, you Marlboro Lights.
Yes. No, just Marlboro, just regular Marlboro.
Okay, photo. This was before your volume button took photos with the volume button. This was like iPhone 3 or some shit.
Yep.
Could you imagine hitting yourself in the head to take pictures?
Can you find that app? Does that app still exist? It doesn't exist anymore, huh? That app doesn't work anymore?
Because it's the stupid app. That's the dumbest app I've ever heard of in my life.
There's dumber apps than that.
No, it senses your ear and takes a photo.
No, you know what was a dumb app? That app where they make you look older, where you can see how you look older. Like it shows you at like what you look like at 40 years old, what you look like at 50
when you
years
used
old.
It, didn't they just? It just shows a bag of dirt.
It shows
when you
me.
Used it, right?
No,
it was just a bag of dirt. Like
no, with me. No, with me, it makes you look older, but it didn't make me look any older. That's how I look. That was upsetting to me. Then I realized that I really look old. That was pissing me off. I don't like that app. I'll never use that again. By the way, that was made by the Russians. I think that was just to get into your phone. To just get your information in your phone when you download that app. Yep.
It worked. It showed how stupid and vapid we are. So, you know, it is what it is. There's also this dumb app from Pro Photo, but I'm not going to get into that.
Look at that. Seth, you can't use
what app from Pro Photo? It's awesome.
Wow, vapid isn't a big word. Bro, I have 2 college degrees. I better know some fucking words. What?
You have 2 from what colleges? Where'd you go to college?
I have a BFA from what was CW Post, and I have an AS from Nassau Community College.
What's CW? What was CW Post now called?
I think it's now called LIU. I think it was whatever.
Oh, yeah. Maybe Long Island University. That could be. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. I have a BFA from there.
Oh, Cliff, tell them about the new product that's getting released.
What's wrong? I'll tell them about your new product.
The Pro Photo Connect 2.
Shh, don't tell them. Don't tell them. Don't tell them. Don't tell them. Shh, quiet, man. Stop.
Actually,
because you know tomorrow I'm going to get calls about this. People are going to ask me, what about the Pro Photo Connect 2?
The Connect 2 right here.
It's a hockey puck.
That thing?
That's a hockey puck. That's what
it's a water bottle cap.
You see,
oh, Jesus Christ.
You guys see our new light? This is our new light. See this? Fucking candle.
Pro Photo will sell you a candle and call it the organic strobe somehow and make influencers with fedora hats think they want it. They'll be like,
and we're going to charge you $1,000 for it. I promise you, it's $1,000. I promise you.
Oh,
I hope nobody from Pro Photo is on this talk here because I'll be in big trouble. But no,
nobody's going to find me.
The new light.
All right, we're at an hour and a half deep on this. You believe it's been an hour and a half, guys?
No, really, it doesn't seem like it. It was fun, man. I had a good time.
It's a good time.
We'll
have you back on here.
I'll tell better stories next time. I'll come up with I'll remember better stories. They all happen. They're all not bullshit. They're not bullshit stories. They're all true. I just got to remember them because Ab starts bringing stuff up and I remember it. We have a lot of stories from the Eddie Adams workshop. A lot.
We were driving up to Bear Mountain one time and I'm like, Cliff, let's go live on Instagram. He's like, no. Actually, yeah. Go, I got a story. And also he starts telling me this motorcycle story. And I'm like, where'd you even come up with this story out of nowhere of shooting a motorcycle like coming at you or some shit?
That's how he lost a kidney. But you know, Cliff he got 1 kidney from that motorcycle shoot.
What happened?
It wasn't from that one.
Tell us about the shoot.
No, that wasn't even an interesting shoot. I could tell you about you know what? Next time I'll tell you about the White House and I'll tell you about Muhammad Ali shoot, which wasn't my shoot. It was my dad's shoot.
What the fuck?
I'll tell you about the Muhammad Ali shoot. That was amazing. The White House shoot and the Muhammad Ali shoot were 2 great ones.
You're coming back on here. I'm holding you to it.
Done. I promise.
All right.
Promise.
All right, guys. If you don't know Cliff Hausner, you can find him at cliff.hausner, or is it Cliff Hausner? What's your Instagram?
I don't remember. Is that a bad thing to say?
I'm going to pull it up. Yeah, it is. You're so old. God.
Oh, man. I am old.
God.
Listen, when an app that shows you looking older doesn't make you look any older, you're old.
It just makes you a bag of dirt. That's a good one. I got to remember that.
I like the bag of dirt.
Ashes.
It's Clifford Hausner. It's Clifford Hausner, I think.
There it is. I got it. Here it is, guys. You go follow him right now. If you don't know him, follow him. You know, you guys already know Ab. He has a room in our Discord, Ab Sesay. If you want to ask him any questions or anything, he's always in there. He's very, very communal. I would give Cliff a room, but he'd get lost in 2 seconds and find some bathroom that never existed on Discord. So I'm just going to leave it alone.
No, Ab's the one who found the bathroom. I just followed him in there. He called me to come in. That's just saying.
It was
you had machine guns in your fucking face.
You killing me. Listen, guys, tonight on House Party, there's gonna be some ball busting. I promise you. Seth's going down.
I'm always getting fucking beat apart. Listen, everyone in the chat room, thank you so much for joining us. I'll have these guys back on again, I promise. Don't forget to bring up the Muhammad Ali story, the White House. Make sure to hold him to this shit. Ab, I'll definitely see you. We're going to be on Sekonic one of these days. I'll be live with you.
Let me know when you stop recording. I'll show you some pictures.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll let you know. Hang on a second. Let me get over to the screen. Everyone in the chat, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. I'm going to try to get you more guests while I can because all this stuff's happening. Tomorrow, though, on Adorama's Facebook Live, I'm going to be talking with Mark Mann, celebrity photographer, Leica photographer.
Awesome, tell him I said hi.
Awesome guy. What a nice guy. Hi. What a charm.
Love that guy.
Yeah.
Ask him if he's still wearing orange. He loves the color orange. He used to. No joke.
He always wears these scarves. He always has he makes sure he wraps something around his neck all the time. It's so funny.
He had an orange Vespa, I think. You got to ask him about his orange color. He loves orange.
He had an orange Vespa?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Guys, thank you so much. We will see you soon. I know that I'm going to drag these guys back on here. Cliff is losing his mind. I got to give him something to do before he goes crazy. So he'll be back on here. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time. Peace.